Have you ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a leg cramp so intense it feels like your muscle is trying to tie itself in a knot? You're not alone. For so many of us, over 60, these nighttime leg cramps can turn a peaceful sleep into a painful ordeal. They sneak up out of nowhere, leaving you tossing and turning, wondering why your body is betraying you. But here's the good news. You don't have to live with them. Today, I'm going to share 6 simple, natural tricks that can stop those leg cramps in their tracks and help you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to enjoy your day. From small changes you can make at 10 a.m. to bedtime habits that make all the difference, these tips are easy, practical, and backed by science. So, stick with me, because what you learn in the next few minutes could transform how you feel tomorrow and every day after that. Let's dive into the first trick, and it's one you can start using tonight. Pillow positioning. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pillows are for your head, right? But hear me out. The way you position your legs while you sleep can make a huge difference in whether those cramps creep in. When you lie flat, especially on your back, your leg muscles can sometimes overstretch, especially if your feet point downward. That's like putting your calves on high alert, just waiting to cramp up. The solution? A simple pillow trick. Try placing a pillow under your knees if you sleep on your back, or between your legs if you're a side sleeper. This keeps your legs in a slightly bent, relaxed position, taking the pressure off those muscles. It's like giving your legs a little hug while you sleep. I tried this myself a while back when I was waking up with calf cramps almost every night. I grabbed an extra pillow, tucked it under my knees, and let me tell you, it was a game changer. Not only did the cramps stop, but I woke up feeling like I'd actually rested. You don't need a fancy pillow either, just one that's firm enough to support your legs without flattening out. If you're someone who moves around a lot at night, you can even try a body pillow to keep everything in place. The best part? It's free, it's easy, and you can start tonight. So, before you hit the hay, grab that pillow and give your legs some love. Have you ever tried something like this for cramps? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what's worked for you. Now, let's talk about something else you can do, and this one's all about what you put on your body. Magnesium application. Magnesium is like a magic mineral for your muscles. It helps them relax, which is exactly what you need to keep cramps at bay. A lot of us over 60 don't get enough magnesium, and that can make our muscles more prone to those painful spasms. But instead of popping pills, which can sometimes upset your stomach, try using a topical magnesium oil or cream. You just rub it right onto your calves or thighs before bed, and it goes to work soothing those muscles. I remember talking to my friend Susan, who's 68 and loves her evening walks. She was struggling with leg cramps that kept her up at night, and she was ready to try anything. I suggested a magnesium spray I'd heard about. She started using it every night, massaging it into her legs while watching her favorite show. Within a week, she called me up, thrilled, saying her cramps were practically gone. The science backs this up. 2 Magnesium helps regulate muscle contractions, and applying it directly to your skin can target those trouble spots fast. You can find magnesium oil at most health stores or online, and a little goes a long way. Just make sure to test a small patch of skin first to avoid any irritation. Imagine rubbing on a bit of cream and sleeping through the night cramp. Doesn't that sound worth a try? Here's a quick question to keep you with me. Have you noticed your cramps getting worse after a long day? Maybe after sitting for hours or running around in uncomfortable shoes? That brings us to a new angle. A lot of videos skip daytime habits that trigger those nighttime cramps. Most people focus on what you do right before bed, but what you're doing at 10 a.m. could be setting you up for pain at 10 p.m. Let's break it down, starting with sitting too long. If you're like me, you might spend hours in your favorite chair reading, watching television, or catching up with friends online. But staying in one position for too long can make your muscles stiff and tight, which is like rolling out the red carpet for cramps later. Try this. Every hour or so, stand up, stretch your legs, and walk around for a minute or two. Even a quick lap around your living room can help. I started setting a timer on my phone to remind me to move, and it's made such a difference. Another daytime culprit? Wearing unsupportive shoes. Those cute flats or old sneakers might feel comfy, but if they don't support your arches, they can strain your calves and feet, leading to cramps at night. Look for shoes with good arch support and a bit of cushioning, especially if you're on your feet a lot. And here's one more daytime habit to watch. High caffeine or alcohol intake. That morning, coffee or evening glass of wine might be your ritual. But too much can dehydrate you and mess with your muscle function. Try cutting back a bit. Maybe swap one coffee for a glass of water or herbal tea. These daytime tweaks are so simple, but they're powerful. Think about it. A little movement, better shoes, and smarter drink choices could mean no more waking up in pain. We've covered a lot already: pillow positioning, magnesium application, and how your daytime habits can make or break your nights. But there's more to share, like how to balance your salt intake to keep cramps away without overdoing it. Stick with me, because the next tips are just as easy and could be the key to sleeping soundly again. So, you've got your pillow position just right, you're rubbing on some magnesium cream, and you're starting to rethink those daytime habits that might be sneaking cramps into your nights. Feeling good about that progress, aren't you? Now, let's keep the momentum going with a few more tricks that are just as simple but pack a serious punch when it comes to stopping those leg cramps for good. We're going to talk about balancing your salt intake, managing your hydration like a pro, and a daytime habit that might surprise you. These are the kinds of changes that make you think, why didn't I try this sooner? So grab a comfy seat, maybe not for too long though, and let's dive in. First up, let's talk about salt. I know salt gets a bad rap, especially when we're watching our blood pressure or trying to stay healthy. But here's the thing. Your body needs a certain amount of sodium to keep your muscles happy. Too little sodium, and your muscles can start cramping up, especially at night. It's like your legs are throwing a tantrum because they're not getting what they need. Now, I'm not saying to start pouring salt on everything like it's a bag of popcorn. It's about balance. If you're on a low sodium diet, which a lot of us over 60 are, you might actually be dipping too low, especially if you're active or sweating a lot during the day. Here's what you can do. Pay attention to how much salt you're getting naturally from your food. Things like soups, pickles, or even a sprinkle on your veggies can help. If you're not sure, try adding a pinch of sea salt to a glass of water once a day. Think of it as a little muscle-soothing tonic. I started doing this after my doctor mentioned my sodium levels might be a bit low, and I noticed my cramps weren't as frequent. Just check with your doctor first, especially if you're on meds or have health conditions that need you to watch salt closely. Have you ever thought about how something as simple as salt could be tied to those nighttime cramps? It's one of those small tweaks that can make a big difference. Now, let's move on to hydration, because this one's a game changer, but it's also where a lot of us trip up. We all know drinking water is important, right? But when it comes to leg cramps, it's not just about chugging water all day, it's about hydrating smart. If you drink too much water right before bed, you might actually dilute the electrolytes in your body, like sodium and potassium, which are crucial for keeping your muscles from cramping. Plus, let's be honest, nobody wants to be running to the bathroom every hour when they're trying to sleep. On the flip side, if you're not drinking enough during the day, your muscles can get dehydrated and cranky by nighttime. Here's a simple plan. Spread your water intake throughout the day, aiming for about 6 to 8 glasses, depending on your activity level and climate. Try to sip more in the morning and afternoon, and ease up a bit in the evening to avoid overloading your system. You can also add a splash of lemon or a slice of cucumber to your water to make it more fun, and those add a tiny bit of electrolytes too. I keep a water bottle on my kitchen counter as a reminder, and I've gotten into the habit of taking a few sips every time I walk by. Another tip? Foods like watermelon, cucumber, or even a banana can boost your hydration and give you a hit of potassium, which works hand in the logivite hand with sodium to keep cramps away. Ever notice how your cramps seem worse on days when you haven't had much water? That's your body trying to tell you something. Let's pause for a quick question. Are you someone who loves their coffee, or maybe a glass of wine with dinner? Those can dehydrate you a bit, so if you're indulging, make sure to balance it out with extra water earlier in the day. It's all about giving your body what it needs to stay cramp-free. Speaking of daytime habits, there's one more we need to tackle, and it's another one that sneaks up on you: high caffeine or alcohol intake. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth digging into because it's such a common trigger. That second cup of coffee in the afternoon or a couple of glasses of wine in the evening might feel like no big deal, but they can pull water out of your system and mess with your muscle relaxation. Caffeine, especially, can make your muscles a bit more twitchy, which is the last thing you want if you're prone to cramps. Try this. If you're a coffee lover, Maybe switch to decaf for your second cup or try a soothing herbal tea in the afternoon. Chamomile or peppermint are great choices, and they're kind to your muscles. For alcohol, aim to keep it moderate on glass instead of two, and pair it with a big glass of water. I used to love my evening wine, but when I started cutting back and drinking more water during the day, I noticed my legs felt so much better at night. It's not about giving up what you love. It's about making small swaps that let you enjoy your days and sleep better too. Have you ever tried cutting back on caffeine or alcohol to see how it affects your cramps? Drop a comment below. I'm curious to hear your experience. We're building a toolbox of tricks here, aren't we? From balancing salt to hydrating smart and tweaking those daytime drinks, you're already on your way to fewer cramps. But there's one more powerful habit to add to the mix, and it's all about moving your body in a way that keeps those muscles happy. We'll get into that next, so stay with me for the final piece of the puzzle that could make your nights cramp-free and your days even better. We've been on quite a journey together, haven't we? You're now armed with some fantastic tricks to tackle those pesky nighttime leg cramps, from cozying up with a pillow under your knees to rubbing on magnesium cream, balancing your salt intake, and hydrating like a pro. Plus, you're rethinking those daytime habits that might be setting you up for trouble, like too much coffee or sitting too long. Now, let's wrap things up with one final strategy that's not only simple but also feels great to do. And then I'll tie it all together so you can start putting these tips into action tonight. You're so close to sleeping soundly and waking up ready to enjoy your day. So let's keep going. Let's talk about regular stretching, because this one is like giving your legs a daily dose of love. You might be thinking, stretching? I'm not exactly doing yoga classes at 70. But don't worry, you don't need to be a gymnast to make this work. A 2020 study found that older adults who did simple daily stretching routines saw a big drop in both the frequency and severity of nighttime leg cramps. That's right, just a few minutes a day can make your muscles less likely to seize up when you're trying to catch those Z's. Stretching helps keep your muscles loose and flexible, which is especially important as we get older and our muscles can get a bit tighter. Here's how to make it easy. Try a basic calf stretch every day, maybe while you're brushing your teeth or waiting for your coffee to brew. Stand about an arm's length from a wall. Place your hands on it for balance, and step 1 foot back. Keep your back leg straight and your heel on the ground. Then lean forward slightly until you feel a gentle stretch in your calf. Hold it for about 20 seconds. Breathe deeply and then switch sides. Do this a couple of times a day, and your legs will thank you. I started doing this stretch while chatting on the phone with my grandkids, and it's become such a habit that I barely think about it. Another great one is a seated hamstring stretch. Sit on the edge of a chair. Extend one leg straight out with your heel on the floor, and lean forward slightly until you feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. These little moves add up, and they're like a reset button for your muscles. If you want to take it up a notch, try doing your stretches in the evening, about an hour before bed. This helps relax your muscles and signals to your body that it's time to wind down. I know a friend, Tom, who's 72 and swears by his evening stretch routine. He used to get cramps that woke him up almost every night, but after adding just 5 minutes of stretching to his evening, he says he sleeps like a baby. Have you ever tried stretching to ease your cramps? Or maybe you've got a favorite move that helps? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear what works for you. Now, let's bring it all together. Think about how far you've come in just a few minutes. You've learned that tucking a pillow under your knees or between your legs can stop your muscles from overstretching at night. You've discovered how a little magnesium cream can work wonders for relaxing those calves. You're now aware that balancing your salt intake, not too much, not too little, keeps your muscles happy, and that hydrating smart throughout the day, not just before bed, is key to avoiding cramps. You're also paying attention to daytime habits, like moving around more, wearing supportive shoes, and easing up on caffeine or alcohol. And now, with regular stretching, you've got a complete set of tools to keep those cramps at bay. The beauty of these tricks is that they're not complicated. You don't need fancy equipment or a big budget, just a few small changes that fit right into your life. Imagine this. You're sipping your morning tea, wearing comfy shoes, doing a quick stretch by the counter, and knowing that tonight you're setting yourself up for a cramp-free sleep. That's the kind of freedom and comfort you deserve at any age. So, start with 1 or 2 of these tips tonight. Maybe grab that pillow and try the stretch before bed. Add another trick tomorrow, and before you know it, those cramps will be a distant memory. I'd love to hear how these tips work for you. Have you tried any of them already? Or is there one you're excited to start with? Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who need these tips. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more practical advice to help you live your best life. Here's to restful nights, happy legs, and feeling great every day. You've got this.